Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live, or if I put a video up, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? If you want to help support my channel out, very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,700 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous. But basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, guys. Well, there's only three. Well, what do we got? There's 2 days, I believe, left in this week. And then the guys are gone for like 5 weeks, whatever it is, right? And then when they come back, it's on. Another season is upon us. Training camp, preseason games. Oh, man. Huh? Hopefully not a bunch of disappointment like we've had the last couple of seasons. But I saw this article. I mean, the one thing is that at the OTAs, I think there's only like a couple times where like the media can be there during all, maybe 2 or 3 times at the OTAs. So there, for the most part, then again, at the OTAs, there's no contact, there's no pads, there's no running. Did you see the running game? I mean, there's none of, there's only so much they can do. There's only so much time that they're allowed to be on the field. There's no contact, there's nothing. So you can only pick up so much. But the media is there. Obviously, when the media is, the media is charting everything, and if you listen to Big Blue Kickoff Live, they're the guys. I think they work for the Giants. Now they give when the media is not there, they give little updates on what happened, but they're only allowed to say so much. Like they can say Russell Wilson hit Jalen Hyatt on a beautiful pass in the corner of the end zone. Hyatt went up, jumped. Battled for the ball with Holland. He came down with the ball, got 2 feet in bounds, and got the touch. They're only allowed to say stuff like that. They're not allowed to really say where so-and-so lined up at, what the formation was, what the plays were. They're not, they only can say so much. But when the media is there, the media, picks up on certain things and all that. So, plus, once again, it's just OTAs. I mean, I've seen, you have to keep everything with a grain of salt. A small grain of salt. It's OTAs. I mean, I've seen all kinds of things. I've seen Daniel Jones apparently looking like Jesus Christ. Better than Jesus. Daniel Jones is now walking on it. Apparently, he's running on water. He is like the best thing ever at the Colts OTAs. Apparently, Shedeur Sanders is maybe the greatest. Well, maybe Daniel Jones is the greatest quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders is 1A in the OTAs. Shedeur Sanders is completing every pass in OTAs, and apparently he's like he's probably the best quarterback of all time, according to some. So got to keep everything in perspective here. Okay, right. It's only OTAs, all right, but. Regardless, it's nice to have the guys on the field. It's nice to hear the Giants are, on the practice, and it's just nice to hear that because, of course, we could be walking into the fire once again like we had the past couple of seasons. However, also, if it's going to be a somewhat respectable, decent season or something like that. Nothing helps you get, forget about that, the doom and gloom of the past 2 seasons, then the new season, right? And let's not forget, who's kidding? Well, I'm a jackwag. I'm a jackass, right? I mean, I'm always like, well, I'm in an offensive line. If it stays healthy, in my head sometimes, I may not say it, but, we got a running backs ain't too bad. If we can hit Malik, and then maybe Theo starts picking stuff up and Russell Wilson hits Slate. Offense may not be too bad if we got a good, I'm always thinking, we may not be too bad this, so. Oh, then the season starts. Oh my goodness! But now once again, this year, okay, this is from Big Blue Kickoff Live, right? This is from the guys who work for them. There's this article right here, okay? Cover 3, what we learned about the Giants at OTAs. This is from Giants.com, okay? This is from John Schmeelk. Apologize. Matt Seitag and Dan Solomon. All right. So, they're only allowed to say so much, right? But they've been there at every one. They might miss. They might be looking at one play here, and they might miss something over there. But they're there every day. And once again, they're only allowed to report so much, but they've been there every day, right? So the OTAs, obviously, they're in the books, okay? All that remains of spring football is this week's minicamp before players break until training camp in late July. So they got 5 weeks off, and for the most part, nobody's really allowed to be in the building. Doesn't mean the guys, for the most don't do anything, but they do anything. For the most part, it's got to be like on their own, right? With that in mind, the Giants.com crew members discuss what they've learned about the team so far. As I said, once again, right, they're only allowed to say so much, too, but they've seen every practice, right, every OTA, right? So John Schmeelk, I'm anxious to see what defensive coordinator Shane Bowen ends up doing with the secondary. I interviewed more than 20 members of the defense at media day. So he's a busy dude. Let me tell you what, John Schmeelk. And all the returning players express how the playbook has been expanded with the influx of talent this offseason, which is cool. All right. It is easy to imagine the variable fronts that Bowen can use with all the defensive linemen and edge rushers. Absolutely. He's got his work cut out for him because I'll tell you what, unless whatever, I don't want to say the injury word, or I'm sorry, the I word, injuries, right? But unless we get really totally decimated by injuries, if these guys can stay relatively healthy, this should be a very nice defense, right? We should get some sacks, okay? And if we stay relatively healthy, and we don't produce some sacks or get a top, I don't want to say top 10, but top 11, 12 unit, top 13, somewhere around there, right? Bowen's under a lot of pressure. He better, his problem is he might have some, how am I going to get Kayvon, Sexy, Burnsy, and Abdul Carter on the field? How am I going to utilize them? You know what I mean? So, but if you can ever figure that out, then it's kind of like he serves the ball to the other team's offensive coordinator, right? Right, he figures it out, and the offensive coordinator of the other team's like, holy crap, he's got those 4 freaking guys on the field. How are we going to block them all? Right? Let's see. 2 of the Giants' biggest additions in free agency both came in secondary. I really liked, Holland and Debo. And because now it takes a little bit of pressure off of Banks. We're able to slide him over, to cornerback number 2 or whatever you want to call it, right? So now he doesn't have to go against the top dog. That's what we got a Debo for, right? Hopefully they'll light a fire under Banks. Hopefully, he's not going up against Justin Jefferson every week, right? Hopefully we might see a little better performance from him. But, it basically his job just got taken from him, Okay, so let's see what, now we're serving the ball to Mr. Banks. Okay, Mr. Banks, we just brought a D-bell. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? Right? You're going to curl up in the corner and suck your thumb and, cry like a baby and ask for somebody to change your diaper because this ain't fair, or you're going to let a fire under you, right? So we'll have to wait and see, right? That was probably one of the biggest things that got Mr. Henderson, fired, was because he couldn't get the best, out of Banks. So let's see. So adding Jevón Holland at safety as a truly interchangeable piece with Tyler Nubin. Yeah, I mean, you can, either one. It could be free safety, strong safety, so that's really good. We'll give Bowen the opportunity to use a lot more pre-snap disguises combined with post-snap movement to confuse opposing quarterbacks. With the pass rush expected to get into the backfield quickly, let's hope, any hesitation from the quarterback, that's right, could lead to sacks. Holland's ability to communicate should also help in this endeavor. Adding Paulson Adebo at cornerback will open the pathway for more press man coverage when it is needed. Adebo, Banks, and Cordell Flott all have that length to play man-to-man defense. Now let's hope Flott, when he's on the field, can stay healthy. That'd be interesting to see also with him. Do they like him enough after the season's over with, right? Maybe to help, maybe resign him. Because if they can resign him, right, you at least add some good depth to you. Let's see. I said I would not be shocked if Bowen leaned into a bit more in key situations on third down and other passing situations. The Giants have the personnel to rush four and blitz, and press man should disrupt opposing receivers enough to give the front time to get home. I have no doubt the Giants' front is going to be disruptive and get into the backfield, but their effectiveness is going to be linked to the secondary. They have the pieces necessary to provide the necessary backstop for the defense to succeed. Can't wait to see them do it in a training camp. Dan Solomon, as I wrote about in Fact or Fiction last week, Russell Wilson's effect really started to come to light the deeper we got in OTAs. Darius Slayton said there is a lot of new energy, even though the Giants returned most of their starters from a year ago. But that's what happens when you add a 10-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion at the most important position in all of sports. His leadership is felt on offense, on defense, on the field, and off the field. Most importantly, he can still sling it. His knowledge of the game is shown already, Slayton said. Obviously, he has amazing talent with the ball, accuracy, great touch on the deep balls. That's what he's good at, the deep. We're going to talk about something in a little bit here, something that he's maybe not that proficient at, shall we say. Slayton said, I don't really know that he's missed more than one or two deep balls this whole camp. He's really accurate, really smart. He's helped keep us in good plays throughout the whole camp. So his impact has been felt for sure. That sentiment is shared by other skill players. Even the first time we threw, me and Slay were both like, this is actually better than we expected, wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson said. And so we were ecstatic about it and couldn't be more happy that he's our quarterback. Well, once again, I'm going to be talking about something that might affect Mr. Robinson in a little bit here. I think it's the energy he brings. Running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. said, every time he walks into the meeting room, he greets everybody. It starts with that. You know what I'm saying? That is the main thing that I see. Russ is very intentional in what he does. He speaks to everybody. Again, no matter if you're the starter or you're number three, whatever it is, he treats you like you're the starting person. But he also gives confidence in you. He speaks life to you. Furthermore, Wilson has also extended to how Brian Daboll structured practice this spring, which included more on 7-on-7s. Matt Sytek said, while OTAs served as a great chance for Russell Wilson and the rest of the team's quarterback room to start getting on the same page as their targets, it didn't do a whole lot for the guys up front. Never does. As we've said at much the last few weeks, with no contact allowed during the spring, it's tough to glean much information from the matchups between the offensive line and the pass rushers. With that being said, One thing became abundantly clear as John, Dan, and I stood on the sidelines for every OTA practice over the last 3 weeks. Giants pass rush has the potential to cause some serious problems for opposing offenses. We know when the Giants drafted Abdul Carter third overall, adding him to a unit that already consisted of Brian Burns and Kayvon, that the team's pass rush could be its strength this upcoming season. It's one thing to simply think it, it's another to see it starting to come to life. There were numerous plays throughout the spring that I saw Carter, Burns, and Kayvon all lined up on the defensive line, with one of them taking a spot inside. That's, so going to have to wind up happening. Or just about all of these plays, at least one of the three ended up in the backfield. In fact, I counted several occasions where two and sometimes even all three of them met with what would have been a sack. The craziest part, all this occurred without Dexter Lawrence even on the field. Go figure, right? With Lawrence and presumably Carter lined up on the inside and Burns and Kayvon on the edge or the outside, the Giants will have 4 players up front that all have the potential to reach double-digit sacks. Pretty crazy. I'm not sure there's another team across the league that can say the same. Now, as good as it is to have a lot of potential, the only thing that matters is what the unit actually produces once the season starts. Let's not forget about Golston, too, right? I'm very anxious to see what Mr. Alexander can do, how disruptive he can be. Well, the next step toward that will be at the end of July when the pads come on and the competition kicks up a notch. That's it. I mean, the one thing is that, I mean, these guys would have been in the back. It's on the, but I mean, the guys aren't blocking them. So there's only really so much they can do. But they've been, Schmeelk's been there. Sitek has been there for the past year or two or whatever. And, you can also, you can see the speed too. Right. So it should be a fun group to watch, especially on passing downs. And the thing is that, let's also hope that we can stop the run because it's especially, when you go up against the big dogs or the big dog, let's get the white elephant out in the room here, right? The big dog. The Philadelphia Eagles, right? That offensive line we got super Saquads in the backfield there. Can we stop him? I really would have, didn't want to see, but would have been anxious to see, right? If their final game of the season last year, if they put Saquads in there and just, run wild. Would have been anxious to see how many yards he would have wound up with. He would have. I'm sure he would have eclipsed. I forgot what he needed, like 90 yards or 100 yards or something like that. I'm sure he probably would have had that by halftime. I mean, if they had their starting offensive lineman in there blocking for him, they were at Philly. Those fans just going crazy, freaking out and everything. Oh man, I couldn't imagine how many yards he would have had. We would have been crucified. He would have annihilated that rushing record. Now, he would have done it in 17 games, though. Eric Dickerson did it in 16 games. Right? Although, to me, I'm an old fart. Now, I'm not proud to say it, but this guy's, to me, is a worthless piece of human trash. But, OJ did it. OJ, he did it in 14 games. Right? Wasn't much of a passing league. It was a lot of running, right? But OJ, it was like 2003 or 1973. To me, that's the top there. These guys have, when Eric Dickerson did it, he did it in 16 games. Saquon did it. Saquon would have maybe got the record in 17 games. So pretty soon it's soon to be 18 games. But, hopefully, we can do better in the secondary as far as covering receivers, right? Hopefully we should continue our very good pass rush that we had last season, because let's not forget, whatever it was, halfway through the season, we were leading the league in sacks. We were up like around 35 after whatever it was, 7-8 games or something. We were really doing good. Like halfway through the season, we were on pace with damn close to 60 to 70 sacks. came down a lot after that, But, can we stop the run? I mean, Abdul Carter, it's great. You're all excited about it with him with the pass rush and everything like that. But, how's he going to do against the run? So that's something to keep an eye on.